Now Hitler, he had like some kind of like bigger plans. He wants to set Mussolini up as like his puppet, controlling the northern part of Italy. So he does just that. He puts Mussolini in charge of northern Italy, to keep it simple. And it really looks like he's in charge again, but really Hitler was the one pulling the strings and like telling him what to do. And Mussolini kind of like had to, because this guy just like bailed him out of prison. So I was like, oh, fuck. You know, Mussolini gave speeches and tried to play the part, but if he didn't do a convincing job, then Hitler would invade the rest of Italy. So it's a lot of pressure for Mussolini here. He would be the one like responsible for everything, you know? Eventually, Mussolini realizes that this whole arrangement is not going to work. It's not going to work out for him. So he decides the only thing he can do is like get out of Italy. So he decides he's gonna freaking make a run for it, leave the country, get the fuck out of there. So he and his mistress Clara, the fangirl, yeah, they're still fucking, they decide to run away together and leave everything behind. So the way that they're gonna do it is they were gonna dress up as German officers, okay, blend in a little bit, and then get the fuck out, like in the middle of the night. And no one would know because they look like German officers. So their goal was to get to the Swiss border. And to them, it was like the perfect plan. The only thing they had to do was like not get caught. I wonder how they got the outfits. I don't know, but they did. So on April 27th, 1945, Mussolini and Clara reached Lake Como when suddenly they were recognized. Oh yes, it's over, baby. They get caught, they're in trouble. The people who caught them sentenced them all to death. So the following afternoon, on April 28th, Mussolini and Clara were executed. He was 61 years old. Pretty crazy, like they just like executed them and it was like the end. No last words, no. So now the wild part is that their bodies were taken to Milan and left in the town square where, the town square is where like everyone goes, right? So the people, or whoever the officers, the executors, the people in charge, they hang Mussolini and Clara's bodies, their dead bodies, upside down in the town square. And there's like some other people with them as well, because they were also caught with the group, these two. So they're all hanging upside down. Now the Italian citizens use this moment to like take out their anger. They treated their bodies like a piñata. Oh yes, they spit on Mussolini's lifeless body. They threw things at him. They tried to get the candy out of him. You know what I'm saying? Just beating the crap out of his body. It was nuts. It was nuts. Then his body was like taken down from this situation they built to hang him. And then people like stomped on him, stomped on his face. His face was completely like caved in. They beat him with the ends of their guns. Oh, the people were pissed and they did not hold back. Everyone got a turn. I mean, by this point, over 1 million people had died because of Mussolini. His policies, his pointless wars, and the violence he stirred up caused all this death. So people were mad, and they let him know, or let his body know. Mussolini's body was mutilated so badly that it became almost unrecognizable. Finally, American troops stepped in and ordered the bodies to be sent to the morgue. And then whatever was left of the dictator was buried in an unmarked grave. Now Rochelle, Mussolini's wife, she survived the war on her own just fine. And years go by. And then one day in like 1966, I know, I would love to get a word from her. Like, girl, what was up with your man and why did you support all that? Anyways, but one day in 1966, she's minding her own business when an envelope is delivered to her home or whatever. And she's like, oh my God, what is this? It's not my birthday. She opens it up and inside was a piece of human brain. And it was like, what? And she finds out that it was actually a piece of Mussolini's brain. So she finds out that apparently, like American soldiers, they had taken part of his brain to be studied. Scientists want to know what the brain of a vicious dictator looked like. And like if there was anything different with it, really, right? Like, does a dictator have a different kind of brain? Let's study it. Yeah, so they did. And then they sent it back to her. But they were also curious to see whether he had syphilis, you know? I don't know, maybe that caused him to go crazy. I guess like syphilis can like impact your decision making. So maybe him, Stalin, Hitler, maybe they all had syphilis. At the end of the day, the syphilis results were inconclusive, but the Washington Post said in an article that the brain, his brain, was, quote, average. So, I don't know if that's good or bad. I kind of want there to be something fucked up with his brain, because then we could all point to something and be like, see, yeah, makes sense, but average.